Hey guys, welcome back to AAR Reptile Rescue. This next video, as I mentioned before, is going to be your daily care requirements for your rosy boa. The very first thing that I'm going to mention, I'm going to touch on a little bit, but I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because it is a shorter video. Change and check your water for mites daily. Whenever you're changing that water out, look at their water. Make sure that if you see anything floating like little bugs swimming around, that's a sign that you have mites and you're going to need to treat. If you have questions about treating for mites, please go to my Facebook page, message me, say, hey, I have a question about if I ever get into trouble with mite situation, how do I treat for it? I'll answer your questions. If I have a bunch of people that come to me asking me for answers on how to treat for mites, I will do a special video just on how to treat your enclosure and your snake for mites. So please keep that in mind. Change their water daily. Check it for mites. Basically what a mite is a tiny bug. It's just like a flea on a dog. It sucks the blood from your snake and it can kill them. They also carry diseases if you don't catch them in time that could harm your snake if your snake gets part of that disease. So please always check their water for mites. Next, the next part of this section that I'm going to talk about is very, very key to this species. It's actually pretty straightforward on what I'm going to tell you, but make sure you stick to this regimen. The reason I say this is because of the fact that if it drops or gets too high on either parts of this, your snake can get sick. Now, that being said, check your temperatures and humidity multiple times a day. Always monitor it. I mean, if you're gone 8 to 12 hours for work, it's understandable if you're not really able to. But I'm going to give you an idea of a range of where you want your temperatures and humidity to be. And why I would recommend going right towards the center of those numbers. Now, temperatures for your cool side, which is the side they're going to go to whenever they're too warm on their warm side, they're going to go to their cool side to cool off. Your temperatures on that side for a rosy boa, you want it to be about 65 to 75 degrees. Now, that being a wide range of numbers, I always recommend that if mine was to be 65 to 75, I'm going to try to set my temperature at 70 degrees. I'm going to want to regulate that temperature at 70 degrees so that if it goes down, it still has 5 degrees to drop before it's in a danger zone, before it gets out of the normal range, or it has 5 degrees to go up. So I'm right there in the center. I still have room to move around with temperature depending on the conditions of where we're at. Like here in the South, we deal with a lot of hot days. So I'm always trying to make sure that my temperatures are towards the lower values due to the fact that the hot temperatures here will cause the enclosure temperatures to go up also. Now, on their warm side, there's 2 different sets of numbers that you're going to have. On their warm side, for the ambient air on their warm side, which means that it's the majority of the airflow in that warm side, what you're going to want is 80 to 85 degrees. Now, if you have a digital thermometer in their cage and it can read a half a degree, set that for 82.5. Then you have a little bit of wiggle room to go up or down. And the reason I say that with any temperatures that you have for your animals is due to the fact that if it does go up, you're not going to be like, oh, well, it was at 85 degrees already, now it's 100. That's going to be dangerous. So always try to get it right in the center of their range, and then you have a little bit of wiggle room. If it goes up a little bit or if it goes down a little bit, you're still within that range. I do that with my animals all the time. My reptiles, whenever I check their temperatures, I always look back at my research. I always look back at my experience. And I will read, okay, your temperature is supposed to be here. Right now it's right here. I want to bring it down. So what I do is I'll let their warm side cool off a little bit till where it's at the right temperature, and then I turn back on their heat and source to make sure I keep it right there at that range that I want it at. And it's usually right in the middle of their numbers. Now, the reason I said there's two sets of numbers on their warm side, with a rosy boa, they need a basking spot. They need a spot that's just a centralized section on their warm side. I would recommend doing it right in the very corner, so they can go in the corner and have that basking spot, but the rest of their warm side is the 80 to 85 degree range. The reason that it needs to be this way, these guys are from the desert. They're from the deserts of Baja, Mexico, and Southern California. So they're used to having a little bit, like a certain spot that they find that has a little bit of a higher temperature. Now, for their basking spot, their temperature on their basking spot should be 90 to 95 degrees. If you have a digital thermometer for that, do 92.5. Do 92.5 degrees. Then you have a little bit of wiggle room to go up or down. Now, like I mentioned before, on checking your humidity constantly too. The recommended humidity for a rosy boa should not exceed 50%. Due to the fact that in California and Baja, Mexico, with their temperatures, they have a dry heat. So if you're like me in South Louisiana and you have a high humidity already, you want to monitor your humidity constantly. Due to the fact that if you have high humidity outside, your cage can get high humidity. Due to the fact that it's going to be inside your home, it's going to be humid in there. So always monitor your humidity in your snake's enclosures. No more than 50%. That's really about how hot it actually got, or how humid it got during the summertime that I stayed in California. It was right there around 50 to 60%. But it's recommended that you don't go over 50% for your rosy boa. One of the things is that we didn't actually find a bottom number to say, okay, you've got this range to go with. They only said that it's recommended up to 50%. Now, with me, whenever I lived in California, I was there for the fall time. Our humidity got to about 32%. That was the lowest I was able to find it at. I mean, it can get lower there, but if I had a rosy boa right now, I would want their range for humidity 30 to 50%. 50% being their max. So what I would do is I would say, okay, 40%, perfect. That's just my opinion as far as their humidity, but do not let it exceed 50%. If their tank gets too humid or too dry, it's going to be very unhealthy for your snake, and they can get sick, and it could cause them to die. If it gets too cold, also, they can freeze to death. Yes, they're cold-blooded animals, but just like if you're to go outside and it's 10 below zero, and you're sitting out there with just shorts and a t-shirt for long periods of time, you're going to start to get hypothermia, and you're going to die from it. Same thing with your snake. It gets too cold for them, it can kill them. So please monitor your temperatures and humidity. Make sure they're proper at all times. If you're not home, have a digital thermometer that just randomly takes temperature readings. You can buy them. I know they're online. I can't afford one here at the rescues. All my money is all tied up with all of my animals. But if I was able to afford one, I would get it, due to the fact that if I'm not home and Amber's not home, then it would record what my temperatures are throughout the day, so I can monitor if anything's going up or down too much. This next thing I can't stress enough. I do it in all of my videos on daily care requirements. Handle your snake daily. Don't neglect the handling. The reason I say this is, as I've mentioned before in the first video, with proper handling of these guys, they're very easy to tame. They're very docile once tamed, and they're very, very easy to care for. Um, the only hard part of caring for these guys is truly their temperatures and humidity. That is one of the things you have to be a stickler about. But remember, whenever you handle daily and you're handling your snake, you're taming them down, it helps you learn the way that your snake acts. It also helps your snake to understand that you're not going to be a threat to it and that you're not trying to harm it. So remember, handle daily. Now, there's a difference between feeding your rosy boa and feeding a ball python. With a ball python, a juvenile or a baby gets fed once a week. With an adult ball python, once they're past a certain weight size, they're fed every 2 weeks. Some people say every 30 days. No, I do every 2 weeks. I want my babies happy. I want them fed, so they're used to their schedule. Every 2 weeks, they're fed. For my bigger girls. For my little one, she's every week. Now, with the rosy boa, don't go, oh, well, she's above this size. I can start spreading out her feedings to once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks. No, not at all. That's where the rosy boas become different. Even as adults, they still have to be fed once a week. If you go off of feeding, if they decide they're going on a hunger strike and they don't eat for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, which is not unusual, they do go on hunger strikes. It's not going to harm them as long as you don't see a major weight drop. There's nothing really to be concerned about. It just may be that they're in hibernation, and that's basically their hibernation time. They don't want to eat. Or they could be shedding. Some snakes won't eat during shed. Patty will, but my other ones don't. So remember, feed your rosy boa once a week. Even as an adult, even as a full-grown adult, they need to be fed once a week. Now, I'm going to wrap up this one, guys. Like I always say, sounds like somebody's gunning it down the road. Mm-hmm. As I always say in my videos, don't forget that if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below in my comment section. Please just remember, make sure it's age appropriate. I've had multiple ones just recently in my last series that made comments that were not age appropriate. Luckily, YouTube is on my side. They caught it. They took the comment down. I muted the user from ever commenting again. I don't want to do that to anybody, but if you make it to where I have to with an inappropriate comment that's not okay for children to see, then I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to mute you from commenting on my YouTube channel. If you feel that it's not appropriate for YouTube, message me at AIR Reptile Rescue on Facebook. I will gladly answer your questions or comments. If you feel that something's different, that you feel that something else should have been mentioned, please bring it up. If I get enough feedback for something, or if I feel like it's something that's very important that needs to be added to the series, I will make a special video. I will give you a shout out for mentioning it to me, and I will mention what that fact is or what that information is, so that you guys know that I'm there, that I'm going to educate everyone and help everyone out. And I will thank you personally in that video for your support and for bringing that information to my attention. Now, that that's been said, the next thing that I still would love to see, I would really, really, really love to see my subscribers numbers just like skyrocket. I know it's going to take time. I know that I've got supporters out there that will start spreading the word and keep the word going. But don't forget to subscribe and like to my channel. If you like my channel, the more likes I get, the more YouTube puts me on notice and puts my videos out there for people to see. If you subscribe, hit that bell notification down here below my big head. And hit that bell notification, click all. So every time I post a video or if I go live on YouTube, you guys will get an update. And it will tell you that I'm going live, or it will tell you that I posted a new video. And you can join me live. And trust me, whenever I'm on live, I'll be reading comments live to you. I will not be jumping over comments saying, oh, well, I missed somebody. and just skip over it. No, I'm going to be right there. I'm going to mention your comment, and I'm going to answer your questions and thank you and stuff like that, so that I can show you that I do pay attention to everyone. But hit that bell notification, click all, so if I do go live, you'll get a notice before, about 30 minutes before I go live, and then you'll get a notice whenever I do go live. So keep that in mind. I'm going to try to start doing live videos. A lot of my videos too, though, are going to be kind of short and sweet live videos of my animals and how they act in the home. Whenever they're playing with each other, let you guys see how great my dogs are doing.
The chaos they put us through.
Yeah, the chaos that they cause with us. I could be sleeping and literally all 3 dogs will decide it's time to wrestle on top of Dad. I deal with this a lot. So, I don't get enough rest. But, I love my babies. I wouldn't have it any other way. They're happy. They're having fun. They're comfortable in their home. That's what matters to me. If I lose sleep over it, so what? But, please do like and subscribe, guys. We really appreciate your support. We thank you so much for watching. Our animals love you. We love you. And don't forget, as I like to say, we love what we do. We do what we love. So please, if you ever have that thought in your mind that, dude, I really love doing this, do what you love. Don't take the back seat to doing something. Say if you love going horseback riding, you just don't do it anymore like we do. And you find that time where you get that extra time that you can do it, do what you love. Enjoy life while you can. Don't shortchange yourself in life. Do what you love and enjoy yourself. The reason I say that, because honestly, like I've got a visitor right now. Smokey's trying to get in my lap over here. But
Get up there, Smokey.
Come on, Daddy. Come on, my baby. I'm my baby. You're on Facebook. I'm on YouTube with Daddy. But as you guys can see, this is my little lover bug at night. He's my baby.
When he's not being a chaos bug.
Yeah, whenever he's not being my chaotic little kitten, he is my cuddle bug. As you guys can see, I love my animals. I don't deny them attention. But like I said, don't shortchange yourself in life. You want to do something that you love, do it. Enjoy every moment you have. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, guys. I'm getting teary-eyed because of this, because I think about my grandpa all the time. But remember, enjoy every moment you have. If wrestling with your kids in your living room brings joy to you, do it. You're not guaranteed the next day. That's why I use the motto, we love what we do what we love. Because of the fact that I love rescuing. I love taking care of animals. I think it's what God brought me into this world to do, is to save animals, to save reptiles. So that's why I do what I love. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow, but I guarantee you, my animals are happy. They will know that they got the best life because of the fact that they're taken care of and they're going to be happy. So even if I don't make it tomorrow, these guys are still healthy, happy babies. And that's what matters the most to me. That's why I use my motto here at AIR, because I live to that every single day. Now that I've said that and I kept on rambling on about it, I'm sorry. Like I said, my pawpaw's on my mind because he was one of the ones that always told me to live life to the fullest and live day by day as if it's your last. Rest in peace, Grandpa. I love you. But don't forget, we appreciate you guys so much for your support. We thank you so much. Our animals thank you. Even though I have 2 dogs that are knocked out, one that's looking over at his brother. Yeah, Zeus is looking over at Smokey like, dude, what are you doing up? But
Smokey, leave Monique alone.
You guys come back. Check out our next video. I'm not trying to keep you guys too long.
Think
But-
it is proper feeding.
It's going to be the proper handling of your rosy boa.
No.
Yes, I know you hear the big mouth in the background. Oh, it should be this video. No, I have it set on a certain schedule. I have it set on a certain path.
No, I just happen to forget which video we're on.
But your next one's going to be your proper handling of your rosy boa. That's actually going to be a very short video because of the fact that there's not very much to it. It's kind of just touching bases on basically the same thing you have with your other snakes that I've mentioned, like your king snake, corn snake, or ball python. But stay tuned for that, guys. Thank you so much for coming by and watching. You guys have a great night from South Louisiana. We love you from AIR. Good night, guys, and see you in the next one. Bye, guys.